Welcome, my name is Dawn Macary with the Western Connecticut Area Agency on Aging. We have a new show entitled Working Together with the Western Connecticut Area Agency on Aging. The agency serves 41 towns of Western Connecticut. We offer free, unbiased information to individuals on Medicare and persons with disabilities on Medicare regarding Medicare insurance, Medicare Part D, Medicaid, new to Medicare, the home care program, the respite care program, money follows the person, assistance filling out applications, senior Medicare patrol, which is Medicare fraud, and a variety of other programs to help keep individuals independent and at home. And I am delighted today to have as our guest Sarah Gauger, who is with the State Department of Aging Prevention and Wellness Coordinator. Yes. Another big title.
I know. It's
you
a
people
mouthful.
From the state have a big title. But she's the Aging and Prevention Wellness Coordinator, and she is going to be talking about the Live Well program today, which is very exciting. And I'm sure those in the audience are going to really enjoy hearing what this is about. But before we get going, Sarah, can you tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I'm with the State Department, Connecticut State Department on Aging. And with the department, I work on prevention and wellness programming and healthy aging programs. So not only do I coordinate the Live Well program, but I also work on fall prevention program, depression detection program for older adults called Healthy Ideas. And I work with also the federal Title III-D funds that help get prevention and wellness programs out into the community through all of the area agencies on aging. Wow. So that's basically what I work on at the Department on Aging.
Wow, you do quite a bit there.
That's why you have
a big title.
I wear many hats I do.
Today we're going to talk about the Live Well program. What is the Live Well program?
Well, it's a 6.5-week program that was developed through Stanford University out in California. The program's been around for a long time. It's been around since the 1990s.
Wow.
And it was developed by Dr. Kate Lorig. And it's a very well-researched program. And what Live Well does, or the real name, I won't call the real name, is the Chronic Disease Self-Management Program. But it's I know, it's a mouthful, and it's not really a great way to have folks come out to a program saying they're going to attend the Chronic Disease Self-Management Program. But so we've, in Connecticut, we've branded it the Live Well program.
Oh, that's a great title.
Thank you. And we have the tagline, "It's your life, live it well."
It's your life, live it well.
Which I think really speaks to the program. So it's a 6.5-week program, as I mentioned, 6 sessions for 2.5 hours each. And it really focuses on helping people with chronic conditions to improve their quality of life, to really be able to take more control over their chronic conditions, so that they can find better ways to deal with their pain and fatigue. Find better ways to eat, such as looking at their nutrition and looking at healthy eating. It talks, we deal a lot with decision making, and some of the core components of the program are action planning. So every week everybody develops an action plan and sets their goals on what they want to achieve. And they come back the next week and they tell the group, geez, were they able to achieve it? Were they not able to achieve it? So it's really, it's not a support group, but it's a supportive environment. And it's a really interactive environment between the facilitators. There's 2 facilitators for the program as well. And the program also really, we feel, helps empower people to feel better about their life.
That sounds very good.
It's very tough for many people who are dealing with chronic conditions and their family members as well. And this program really gives them the tools to manage their chronic conditions.
What are some of the chronic conditions? Because people might think, well, I have high blood pressure. Is that a chronic condition?
Sure. Chronic conditions can include arthritis, heart disease, high blood pressure, as you just mentioned, hypertension, depression.
Depression, okay.
It really could be, it runs any type of chronic condition that you can really think of. And the only thing that we ask people to do or to not attend the group is if they have a substance abuse problem or an alcohol problem.
That makes sense.
You know, we believe that the 12-step program through AA really benefits those folks who are dealing with those issues much better than our program can.
Now, is there a cost for this program? I mean, it sounds so great that you do all these things.
We have not. We have been very lucky over the last, I would say about 8 years or so. We've been very, very fortunate to receive a lot of funding through grants from the federal government through the Older Americans Act.
Okay.
That has been able for us in Connecticut to build a network.
Okay.
And because of this, we have been able to offer the program free of charge.
Okay.
Or at no charge. There might
great.
be some areas that might offer or might charge minimum, but for the most part, the program has been offered for free.
So what would a typical day a session be like at a Live Well program? Let's say I'm going to go because I have high blood pressure.
Okay.
And I think I would like to attend. So what would happen? I would find out where they are.
Sure, you would find out, we can talk a little bit about how our regions are set up. Okay, so there's 5 area agencies in Connecticut, and in each of our area agencies on aging, we have a regional coordinator. And Western Connecticut Area Agency on Aging, your agency has a regional coordinator.
Okay.
So we might find out about the program through the regional coordinator, through the Agency on Aging. Usually we have host sites out in the community that will offer the workshop. Okay. So say you're attending the Thomaston Senior Center.
Right.
Okay. You might find a poster hanging up in the community section on the community bulletin board saying that the Live Well workshop is going to be offered at the senior center. And there might be information on there on who to contact, or it could be somebody right at the senior center who's coordinating the program.
Okay. And if anyone is interested in the program, I know our 800 number is running down at the bottom of the screen. So you can call that and ask for more information about the Live Well program.
Yes.
And if there are any companies out there or senior centers, libraries out there, and you think that you might be interested in having one of these programs at your agency, you can certainly call that number and ask to speak to the coordinator, and they could set something up.
Right.
Okay, so a typical day is going to be for me.
Okay, a typical day for you you've signed up for you've registered for the workshop.
Right.
Okay, and oftentimes we have what's called a session 0. And at the session 0, you're going to be able to come there and to find out if this workshop and what we're going to offer you in this workshop is really for you.
Okay.
So at this session 0, you're going to either have the regional coordinator, or perhaps you would have the 2 volunteers that are going to facilitate your workshop talk about some of the things that you might experience at the workshop. I know I mentioned to you a little bit about action planning.
Right.
We might show you the activity on decision making, and maybe even do one of those activities with you so you can get an idea of what the program is like, what it's all about. And you might leave that day just saying, you know what, I think I'm going to really give this a try.
Okay.
So you would attend your first session. You come into your first session, and we would tell you what the workshop is about, how it's a very interactive workshop, that it's not about the 2 people that are there teaching you, per se. It's not about me telling you what to do, but it's really facilitating the process back and forth. So it's
that
really
you learn how to make better decisions for yourself.
Absolutely. And a lot of it's up to you. We call this a self-management program.
Okay.
So in a self-management program, it's really up to you to achieve your own goals and to set your own goals, but you're in a very supportive and interactive environment to do that.
Now, do you have large groups of people that attend these sessions?
We usually don't like to have any more than 18 people in a
Oh,
group.
wow.
That's a very large
That's a
group.
large group.
We ask really that there be a minimum of 10 to 12,
10 to 12, okay.
people to sign up for the program.
Okay.
And just, it's really important to have that group dynamic and to have that interaction
With
in
other
the group,
people.
with other people.
With other people.
And so that's why we really try to have at least 10 to 12 people sign up for the program. And sometimes, you know, if you have too few people, you just don't have that dynamic environment.
So you really need about 10 to 12
You do,
people.
and sometimes, you know, people also will come to the first session, even to the second session, and they may decide that the program is not for them. And that's fine, and that's okay. But we do ask that you give it a try, that you know, maybe the first session you might think, oh, well, geez, you know, I'm not really sure. You know, come to the second session, try to make the commitment to the program.
To do the 6 weeks.
To do the 6 weeks,
Right.
yes.
Now, I know I was out in Torrington at the Senior Center once, and they were doing a Live Well program, and I noticed that they were cooking. Do they do cooking at some of these?
They were cooking. Okay. They might have been cooking as part of a healthy eating or a nutrition piece that might have been added to that. There are 2 modules, one on healthy eating, and there's one on another one, or there's 2 on healthy eating.
Okay.
And they might have done that as something in addition to what they were discussing in the healthy eating activity.
Oh, okay.
It probably, if they were doing it, they wouldn't do it during the workshop, but they would be doing it afterwards. To tell you, this is called, actually, Live Well is at what's called an evidence-based program.
Okay.
And this evidence-based program means that it was researched and studied
Alrighty.
quite extensively, and that it was translated out into the community, and that the folks in the community found, or that it was an effective program. So in order for everybody to be doing this program the same way and getting the same benefit,
Got to be done the
that
same.
it be done the same way.
Well, that
So-
certainly makes sense.
Yes, and that's why we feel the program's really been successful. So you could go to a Live Well workshop here in Connecticut, and you could go to one in California, and it would be the same exact program.
Now, is this
done the same way.
nationwide then?
It is nationwide.
Okay, so if you're listening and you have someone living in Florida, they can call the Agency on Aging about a Live Well program,
Yes,
or
they
check
should
it
be
on
able
the
to call an
website.
agency on aging. Could most likely direct them to a Live Well workshop, or it might not be called Live Well in another state. Some states call it Better Choices, Better Health. Some states I've seen call it Healthier Living. So there are different names for the program.
Okay.
But it's run or coordinated through, it could be coordinated through a hospital. It could be
Oh, really?
coordinated
Okay.
through, like in Connecticut, the Agency on Aging. It could be coordinated through, a state Department of Health. So it really depends. Every state is different on how they disseminate the program.
Right.
But Live Well is really now being offered in just about every state in the United States.
Oh, that's great.
And I believe in 15 to 20 foreign countries as well.
Wow. And is it in another language also?
Yes, there are many different languages that are a direct translation of the English version of the program.
Oh, okay, good.
So you might, there might be a large Portuguese community in your
Okay.
town or city. There are manuals that for the leaders to offer the program in Portuguese.
Oh, wow.
So the content is the same.
Okay.
But there are translations of the program in many
So the
different
leaders
languages.
would be Portuguese or
Yes,
Spanish?
they'd have to speak.
Depending.
Yes.
Okay.
The only one that's different is the Spanish version of the program called Tomando Control de su Salud, and that
Very
is
good.
Yeah,
I'm impressed.
And that program is like the English version, but it's not quite the same. It's more culturally appropriate to the
very good.
Spanish-speaking population.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay, and so that's the only program that would be different from the other foreign language programs. The other foreign languages are direct translations. The Tamando is really its own program, and it's a little bit different as well.
So this is really a great program for an agency that serves seniors. Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
To have in your office, your library,
Yes.
your senior center, a housing. Do you do housing complexes?
We do housing complexes as well. Housing complexes, senior centers, as we've mentioned. There's been some hospital community outreach centers that have done the programs. Churches have done the program. Really, anywhere in a community setting, the program can be offered. It's also offered through employee wellness programs as well. So there is an opportunity for a business or an employer to, and I know that wellness programs now are very out there, and so there would be an opportunity for those.
Well, what's
folks
nice
as well.
with this is it's dealing with your chronic condition, so you know how to live with it day
Absolutely.
by day, and you're teaching
Yes.
people this.
Yes.
And it is a 6 weeks training. Now, if someone out there in the audience, let's say they are from a housing complex and they say, geez, I would like to have that at my housing complex, they could contact the manager and the manager would set it up with you. Do you provide all the training, the leaders, and all the paperwork that goes with it?
Just to let you know that say a participant finds out about a resident of the senior housing finds out about the program, says something to the resident service coordinator or to the manager, or the manager may find out about themselves and they were saying, geez, I really want to be able to offer this program. Well, what they would do is they would contact the regional coordinator at the Agency on Aging. Okay, and it would be Debbie Horowitz, and I think you said the numbers are on the screen for everybody, and you would contact Debbie and say, you know what, we'd really love to have a Live Well program at our site. And Debbie would help those folks or Debbie would find the leaders, 2 leaders, it's co-led with 2 leaders, and she would find the 2 leaders for that program and work with that housing manager to set up that program or the workshop at that housing site.
So the individual contacting you really wouldn't have to do much work just to get the participants, like you say, at least 10.
Exactly. And it's really important. We found over the years that in order for this program to really be a success, that you have to have a champion for the program or for the workshop at the site. So you have to have somebody there that really wants to have this program, whether it be for the residents at the senior housing or for the senior center or for folks in the community, and to really kind of champion that program to help bring folks in.
Right.
I find that's very important. Absolutely.
You have to have somebody that's energized, that really says, hey, this is a great program. We really could use it here. It will help you get out of the slump you might be in. Plus, it gets you out once a week, 2.5 hours for 6 weeks. You have someplace to go.
That's right.
And you can be a part of something.
Exactly. And you may say to yourself, well, geez, 2.5 hours? I don't know if I can do that. And people come to the program and or I keep saying program, but the workshop. People come to the workshop and the time just goes by so quickly. And we do allow for a 20-minute break. And we feel that's really important because it gives people time to really process with each other with what's going on.
Which is nice, yeah.
And sometimes you start a workshop and people are kind of in their own space and nobody really wants to kind of interact with one another. But week by week you see people kind of coming out and really getting to know one another and talk to one another and kind of have that support with one another. And you see friendships blossom.
I was going to say that, yeah.
Absolutely. And sometimes you have participants too who come in who are very, very quiet and who don't want to say anything. And you see them blossom as well.
That's wonderful.
And one thing we never do, or what Live Well doesn't do, is we never nobody ever calls on you.
Okay, that's good.
So you don't.
With all the fraud going on.
Yes. Well, and you're not intimidated. Oh my God, I've got to answer. Oh my God, I have to do this. You really don't have that feeling when you get there. If you choose not to, when we go around the room and people are doing our action plans for the week, if you don't want to say anything, you don't have to say anything. Okay. We encourage you to participate. But it's all about self-management. It's all about you making that decision
which is good. There's no homework, is there?
No, there's not. Well, we do have what folks do get to use during the
You might want to hold it up so she can see.
Sure. During the 6 weeks is this book here called Living a Healthy Life with Chronic Conditions. And you can, folks can take this home with them. And all of the activities that are done in the workshop or the topics are covered in this book, whether it be exercises, healthy eating, communicating with family and friends, you know, using your mind to manage your symptoms. Right. All of this is in the book here, so you can use this as a reference when you're home. And we do talk about what we're going to be covering during the next week, and we invite folks to take a look in their book and to read over that chapter that relates to that. And we give them all the information, but it's not like, it's not like going to school kind of homework and something that when you come back the next week you're going to be quizzed on or anything.
Well, so it sounds really nice of it, because I like the fact that there's the interaction with these 10 to 18 people together. So you're getting to see, geez, I'm not an oddball. I fit in with everybody else has these problems too.
Exactly. Everybody's going through the same thing in one way or another. We're all experiencing the same things. And we really, we have the same kind of questions that we're really trying to answer and really trying to, to find how to work with. I mean, it's learning to manage and work with your chronic condition.
Absolutely. And again, I want to remind the audience that the number is on the bottom of the screen. And you can call that number and ask for the coordinator for the Live Well program. And we would be more than happy to set something up in your area. We would love to do that, as a matter of fact. How do you get your leaders, though? How does that work? Because you need 2 people?
Yes, we do need 2 people. We have two kinds of leaders. We have folks out in the community who are what we call our true volunteers. Perhaps somebody a retired teacher, our teacher retires and says, geez, I'd really like to volunteer my time and give back. So they might want to volunteer for a leader training, and the regional coordinator again sets up the leader training. So that person might see something advertised in a newspaper or advertised like what we're watching, or we're here today on a cable access station. There might be an advertisement that a leader training is being held, looking for volunteers to come. So that might be a couple ways. I know AARP has a volunteer site called Create the Good, and you might find something there. But there's various ways that you could find out about becoming a leader. And again, you could contact the Area Agency on Aging and speak to the regional coordinator.
So they have a program. If you find that you would like to be a leader of the Live Well program, there is a program that the leader has to go through before they can teach.
Yes, absolutely. And just briefly before I explain that, we do have, like I said, volunteer leaders. And we do ask that when 2 folks go out and facilitate and do become leaders, that at least one person is dealing with a chronic condition themselves. So most of the time it'll be somebody who has a chronic condition themselves or somebody who's caring for someone with a chronic condition. So we do have the volunteers who come out, and we also have staff from different agencies. There could be say a program coordinator at the senior center wants to offer the Live Well program at the senior center. So they might say, geez, I really want to take this training and become a Live Well leader.
That's great. How many Live Well programs have you done throughout the state? Do you have any idea?
We've probably done over the years over 400 programs.
Wow. That's
and
a lot.
I believe now we've reached, there's been over 4,000 participants and over 3,000 what we call completers of the program.
That is wonderful.
So we've really made our mark on Connecticut. And I just want to briefly tell you that to become, I know we were talking about becoming a Live Well leader. It's a 4-day leader training, and we usually, full days. We do 2 days one week and 2 days the next week. And the leaders will be trained by what we call master trainers. So I'm a master trainer in Connecticut.
Okay, good.
And usually our regional coordinators are master trainers too. And we will actually take you through a whole, by the time you're finished with that 4-day leader training, you're actually going to go through the whole workshop.
Oh my
And
God,
that's how you
wonderful.
really learn how to become that leader. And we have what we call practice teaches. And, you know, the trainings can really be a lot of fun.
That's great. That's great.
And after the 4-day leader training, when folks go out and do their first workshop, then you become a certified leader.
That's great.
Yes.
Well, if you can believe this, we're almost out of time.
Ah, I can't.
I know.
That was quick.
But I would like to remind the audience that if you're interested in having this at your facility, please call the number on the screen. They would love to do a Live Well training at your facility. And I would like to thank our guest, Sarah Gallagher, very much from the wellness program, the Live Well program, for coming. And I would like to thank you for watching our show, Working Together with the Western Connecticut Area on Aging. Together, we can help you with the many programs available to keep you and your loved one home and independent. Thank you.